work on here is upgrading the 1066 steering so we can go down the road at its max speed around 18 miles an hour without ending up in the ditch. So a lot of the slop that happens in these steering systems is actually where the steering cylinder mounts to the front axle. And the old style that's on the 1066 and quite a few other models uses a straight pin and block on the end of the cylinder. They develop a lot of slop, and there's no way to tighten that up besides just trying to weld everything in place. So the upgrade to this is what they did on the later series, is to take a tapered reamer, drill out the hole that the pin goes through so it's tapered, and then we can put a ball joint end style, like in a modern vehicle, where it's tapered. And so that tapering allows you, if there's any slop that builds up, to tighten the assembly, and the slop gets lost. So follow along as we get to do this. We have to make the tools first. We got to make a reamer that we can run with an impact, and then we get to do the whole process. So enjoy following along.
What we're up to next is taking this ball joint reamer that I picked up, and we're going to modify it. If Roger does not go with the camera first. Don't go through the camera, buddy. We're going to modify it, and we're going to put some nuts on it so we can use an impact instead of a drill. So the benefits of that are, you go in there with a drill, if it catches anything, you're getting your knuckles busted or elbow smash or all that jazz. But with an impact, that constant jarring motion actually goes through and actually supposedly does a better job. So that's how they use it with heavy construction, if they're going through and putting beams in and bolting them. So I've talked to a couple people that deal with them on a fairly regular basis, and it works. So the only thing I was instructed to do is try to find one that is as tight as possible into the shaft so you don't have to worry about any centering issues. And when I went and checked this out in my local hardware store, I came up with some metric bolts. I don't remember the exact size, and I'm just hoping the threads will malform and drive right on. It is. There it went. So, I'll get myself cut there. Let's see if we can go to the other end. Throw that nut on a little further. Oh yeah, goes on easily. So, I got two nuts. Debating if I'm going to need both or just one. Should have asked. Tough to just go with the one for right now. I can always add a second one. So there's a hole in that thing so they can run it manually, which I do not intend on doing. So let's get it past that hole. That sounds like a nice shear point if I'm running the impact side of things. And I do not want things grenading. Hold on a second, buddy, I'm coming. Past the hole. So now, I just need to run a weld on there so that nut can't turn. So that's what we have left, and we can go. So, we're now set up to look at the actual reamer portion. So far, we've taken the reamer, welded on a metric bolt. Threads actually had to be driven out slightly to get it on, so it's definitely centered. Get it chucked up in a 7/8 drill, all ready to go to actually run the reamer with an actual impact. Hoping not to burn up my nice portable impact. So, we are upgrading a pin and block style front axle to the later series, or the black stripe style. Well, good old tie rod end style, which means half of the hole is just regularly done. The top portion has to be actually tapered. So that is what we get to figure out. How to taper that down. The big question I'm having, I thought that would have been tighter on that portion too, all the way down through. But maybe just the top portion is. Interesting. We're gonna put this on low. Yes, I should be wearing safety glasses. We're back to working on the reamer project here. And Roger's down, come on the chickens, you little ducks. I have no idea where he came up with that phrase. It's pretty adorable though. And yesterday, or the other day we were here, we got the ball bowling joint just barely set in. So we've taken about an eighth of material off the top of the hole. And at that point, the impact was getting a little warm. And I wanted to just give a chance, since those cordless tools aren't designed for continuous running time. I knew I was pushing it to the limits a little bit to have a break. So we're gonna pick back up and see how far we can get with this today. He's well out of the way.
So after those hours of drilling and drilling and drilling, you can see from that photo what should be the finished product. That tie rod style end should stick through the casting enough that you can get the nylon nut all the way threaded on, and I took it till it was flush. And that was enough that the steering rods and the cylinder, everything fit perfectly for my tractor. And that was, I believe, like 4 hours or so of sitting there and drilling with that reamer for a whole time until let the drill cool off and go, let the drill cool off and go. But the end result is awesome. I need to post a video coming up, and this with the JBL weld replacement of fixing the steering arms on the tractor can go 18 miles an hour straight as an arrow. It's as good as driving a car.